chew bubblegum, recorded from a secret location in the city that moves mountains.
Greetings.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
All right, Seth, you have to say something funny now.
I'm all out of Mountain Dew, man, because I've been drinking too much Mountain Dew.
Oh, very good job. Ladies and gentlemen of Here to Chew Bubblegum, I am Goose. The second person you heard was DirtyDan, and we want to welcome our really good friend.
Officially.
Yes, to the radio show with us. From now on, each week, you will hear Here to Chew Bubblegum, hosted by Goose, DirtyDan, and Seth Ambergy. DirtyDan, Seth messaged me yesterday, and we may have to give him a nickname. I was thinking of 3M. What do you think about that? 3M.
Like, can I just peel the paper off and stick you to a wall?
Or, you know, Seth does Seth's daily podcast, of course, and he also does the mysterious Appalachian Mountains right here on Here to Chew Bubblegum Radio and the podcast. Maybe we could call him Ma'am.
Well, that's actually what I was going to say is ma'am for mysterious Appalachian man.
So, what do you think about that, Seth? Or do you not like Ma'am?
It's like a boy named Sue.
or we could call you Sam.
Sam, I am.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Sam, I am. You are now Sam, I am.
So it is official. Seth Ambergy, from this moment on, will now be known
Sam,
by
I am.
Sam, I am. On Here to Chew Bubblegum.
Do you like green eggs and ham?
Maybe, man. Maybe on a cold day, like in Wednesday.
Hey, did you know that your Mountain Dew is bottled right here in Kentucky with love? Right in Lexington. I hear the 25-year-long employee commercial every freaking morning.
Oh, really? Really? Do they really bottle Mountain Dew in Kentucky?
Yeah, Mountain Dew and Pepsi.
Oh, well, I mean, I know Pepsi's bottled some, but I didn't know about Mountain Dew. Now,
Mountain Dew and Pepsi, baby.
Now, not to get off track, but if you're going to talk about a real Kentucky original, L81.
A.K.A. the Kentucky Swamp Water, A.K.A. the best gosh darn ginger ale in the world.
Yeah, well, yeah. I always support the Bluegrass State. So
I like the cherry.
Okay. I've not tried that one. I'm going to have to try that.
While we're still off topic, get the orange cream. It's also absolutely delicious.
Okay. I'll have to do that. So we are in a new year, officially 2022. Man,
yeah.
2022.
Well, it can't be any worse than last year.
Well, okay. Now, here is my take on it. And Sam, I am, and DirtyDan, I'll get your guys' opinion. Okay, everybody remembers what a bad year 2020 was. Mm-hmm. Now we're in 2022. Like, see?
2022.
Yes, like 2020 part 2. So, could that be good? Could that be bad? Who knows? But I do know what we're going to do. We are going to read, and you've heard some of these emails if you listen to the podcast on the podcast show. We're going to start out and read some backlogged emails, and some of these may reference Halloween or Thanksgiving or Christmas. They're backlogged, and we're giving these people justice by reading them on the podcast show and the radio show. And we're going to start with DirtyDan. Take it away, DirtyDan.
All right, we got Zepp writing in and says, hello, everyone. Man, you guys were in fire in the month of October. You had a great guest, stories, and awesome content. The interview with the Spooky family and having them on was a great end to an awesome month of shows. Keep the ear candy coming, and Roswell, my friends.
Yeah, the ear candy.
The ear coming.
So, yeah. Thank you very much, Zepp, for writing in. Zepp has wrote in before. Seth, Take it away, my friend.
That's Sam I Am.
Sam I Am, sorry.
Sam I Am, yeah.
Well, see, now, and I may call him Seth again, because on the email list that I emailed out, I put Seth. Sam I Am, please take it away.
Or some people here in Knott County, because I used to do rap for like 2 months, they call me Slim Shady.
We'll stick with Sam I Am.
Yeah.
Well, if you take Sam I Am.
Sam Shady.
Well, no.
Sam Shady.
We could take the S from Sam, the I
Shady.
from I, and then just put an M on the end of it. And let's call him Sim. And that could stand for Sam I Am. And my own little delusional mind.
Buddy, whatever you got to do to sleep at night, I'm still calling him Sam I Am.
Okay. I'm going to call you Sim. Sim, take it away.
All right, man. And not the game, Sim. All right. This is from Misty. I'm a new listener, and this is my first time emailing the show. Just listened to episode 52 of the Spooky Family. Halloween is my favorite holiday, and I wanted to say that I really enjoyed the show. I'm going to try to listen to the other shows. Is there any episodes that really stands out from others that I can use as a starting point?
Thank you very much, Misty, for writing in. Yes, start out with Dirty Dan's first episode, because when he came on board, that's when we really got dirty. We got barbecue pit, madness, crazy. Really, you can just start anywhere. I mean, and like I said on the podcast show, the first couple of episodes, you could say they were a training experience. So, but, I've been told, and I do agree that we have got better over time. So, Dirty Dan, what about you?
I mean, I think it was like episode 26 or 7 that Rebecca was first on with y'all.
Okay.
And then I came in on 29 with her, the 4th of July episode. And then 2 or 3 weeks later was when I officially got brought in as Dirty Dan, the barbecue man.
Yes.
So any of them, great. Actually, I think it was episode 18 or 19 with Cronkite. Y'all actually talked about some aviation stuff, and that got me excited.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So start there. And if you like listening to Cronkite, go check him out at Paranormal Trucker. He'll be plugged at the end, but he's now on his own venture. So.
Yes, he is. The next email is from Grouchy Old Man, and I promise I did not write this. Hello, Goose and Dirty Dan. Also, greetings to Queen Rebecca and the flock. I wanted to direct you to research legends and stories in Native American culture. The first people of this land had always encountered different beings, the little people, omens, spirits, giants, and more. In my life's travels, I have found some very wise people within the Native American culture. They've taught me much about the spiritual and also of that which pertains to life. They have a depth I have never witnessed before in my life. If you're looking for answers to unexplained things, I recommend Native American culture. Thank you very much for Grouchy Old Man. And we definitely appreciate that. And yeah, I totally agree. The Indian culture, they had a lot of stuff that I still find fascinating to this day.
And I love getting to find like old arrows or arrowheads and pieces of their culture, because no two things are alike, obviously being handcrafted. But it's just kind of cool, because I always wonder what story each piece could tell me.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Seth, have you, in your Bigfoot hunts, have you ever found any Native American artifacts? Sim, have you ever found any Native American artifacts?
No, but I do know. I just had a guy on that actually is Native American. He was telling me about all the stories of Native Americans like eating with Bigfoot and stuff, like eating meals with Bigfoot, and they called they called Bigfoot the forest people.
Yeah. Well, that is very cool. Now, I actually had a dinner with Bigfoot at Applebee's in Pikeville back in the summer, didn't I, Dirty Dan?
You sure did.
and I'm referring to Dirty Dan. So, Dirty Dan, you've got the next email.
All right, we got Flash Gordon writing in saying, "Hello, Goose, Dirty Dan, and Rebecca. I wanted to share this with you and your listeners and hope that it may help anyone that is dealing from depression or facing a struggle. Staying positive doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time. It means that even on hard days, you know that there are better ones coming. I found this something some time ago and felt the need to share it. Roswell guys and girls. Flash, thank you. Something Rebecca has instilled in me is you have survived 100% of your hardest and worst days. It's behind you. You go to bed, you wake up the next morning, and you made it. So someone who has struggled with mental illness for quite some time, it's not easy. It's never fun to do alone. But we will always have your back. So don't be afraid to say something.
Exactly. And that's a very good email, even on, and I had to include that one in because on Sundays, we even talked about that, about how our listeners, we can be talking about aliens or time travel or other dimensions or Bigfoot 1 minute. And then we also, our listeners are sincere, and I think they're, good people. And for just somebody to take the time and just feel like other people need to hear that it may help them, send that in. That means a lot. Thank you very much, Flash Gordon. Sim, the next email is yours.
All right, man. This is from a Office fan. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to say that I love the Office episode, Dirty Dan. I was very disappointed with you and thought that you'd do better. Rebecca, I knew that you would win all along. Anyway, I look forward to more shows to come and want to thank you for taking time to read my email. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you, Office fan.
And I was very disappointed in you, Dirty Dan. Sim, were you very disappointed in Dirty Dan? Because he talked a big game. I'm the Office expert. I'm going to win this, hands down.
No. That was Rebecca.
Oh,
Rebecca,
no.
Rebecca said she's the Office expert. Rebecca said she has the whole study guide.
You wrote some checks that bounced, my friend. You came in third.
At least I didn't come in last.
So, Sim,
I'm still on the podium.
Sim, were you disappointed in Dirty Dan for his performance? Tell the truth.
I don't know anything about The Office.
Just say yes, you were disappointed as well.
Yeah, I'm disappointed, man. I thought you'd do way better.
All right, folks, you heard it. Sim's first and last episode.
No.
I've been fired.
The next email comes from Jay, and it says, I come in peace here to Chew Bubblegum. I really enjoy the show. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, gang. Thank you very much, Jay.
The depth of that message, Goose, was just fantastic.
Oh, yes. I sometimes I do my best reading after I hit send, do my best proofreading after I hit send. So, I want to thank everyone for writing in. You can always call, text, or leave a voicemail for me, Goose, or Sim by calling 606-373-3396. That's 606-373-3396. Or they can email. How can they do that, Dirty Dan? And Sim, we will get you an email address really soon.
You can email me, DirtyDan at HereToChewBubblegum.com, Rebecca at HereToChewBubblegum.com, the show Ned or Elliot at HereToChewBubblegum at Yahoo.com, and I guess if you really want to, Goose at HereToChewBubblegum.com.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. If you really
Since I'm not allowed to be in the call, text, or voicemail line. Sheesh.
Didn't I say Goose, Dirty Dan, or
you straight set up Goose and Sim?
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, man. And I was wondering why you were giving me a strange look. But in all fairness, as I was saying it, I was writing down some timestamps to edit, and I was putting papers behind me. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to call, text, or leave a voicemail for myself, Goose, Dirty Dan, or Sim, please call, text, or leave the voicemail at area code 606-373-3396. Man, we have been away too long, Dirty Dan, doing this. Life happens sometimes.
Salamanders and ladybugs, man.
Yeah, I am glad you were victorious over those. And
now remember, as we said on the podcast, we and the ladybugs decided to come together and join forces to defeat those pesky salamanders because them slippery son of a guns, they were a little hard.
Yeah.
So I can't say the battle's over because I don't know if, the truce is going to be.
Maybe too, I left you out on purpose just to get a reaction from you. But no, seriously, totally, I did not realize I did that. So sorry, buddy. We're going to move on to segment 1. Dirty Dan, what are you going to tell us about in segment 1?
So this is an older story was updated a couple months ago, and it's titled The Strange Tale of Tom Preston, UFOs in the North Atlantic. And it's very intriguing, to say the least.
Tell us all about it.
Oh, okay. The strange tale of Lieutenant Tom Preston is perhaps all the more mysterious as Tom Preston is a false name. According to UFO research and author Walter N. Webb, who would take the account in 1984, Preston still felt the need to protect his identity, despite the events that he would speak of taking place over 2 decades earlier in 1963. Furthermore, as these reports, and many like them, came to light as whistleblowers volunteered information and government files became declassified, possible links began to suggest themselves to other such cases. Indeed, isolated instances began to look more and more like a bigger picture that requires solving. While many people will first imagine UFO sightings over a lonely road or in the middle of the otherwise quiet countryside, there are also multiple sightings of strange crafts over the planet's waters. Many even speak of such objects emerging from or entering these waters, suggesting to some a plethora of theories. These range from underwater portals to top-secret alien bases at the bottom of the Earth's oceans. Now, this is an unnamed ship in the North Atlantic Ocean in 1963. Preston states that a Royal Navy ship just off the coast of Norway suddenly had a craft on the radars. It would then seemingly break the surface of the water, disappearing rapidly below. They were on non-specific exercises, and while only 29 years old, Preston had vast experience of the ship's radar and sonar systems. As such, he would be at the center of the events as they began to unfold. In all, Webb put forward that Preston is a very credible witness. A co-worker at the Boston Museum of Science first brought his attention to Preston's story. Valerie Wilcox, knowing of Webb's interest in such things, would tell him of Preston's account. Wilcox's friend had married Preston, and he had settled in the United States. The object had shown on Preston's radar screen out of nowhere, suggesting to him it traveled at a great speed. It came to a complete stop, although no visual confirmation came forth, but other ships in their location would also confirm they too had the object on their radar screens. This ruled some kind of malfunction of the radar or sonar equipment out. Once underwater, however, they did manage to track it for several minutes. However, due to the absolute speed it moved, before long it was far out of range. Following the account, Preston and the crew would be subject to reminders that he had signed the Official Secrets Act. He must not, under any circumstances, ever speak of the day's events. Even more startling to Preston was the fact that the ship's logbook was replaced with a brand new and empty one. Slightly south of Preston's ship position in the North Sea, off the coast of northeast England, another strange event would later unfold in the summer of 1977. The incident came to light shortly before 3 decades later, in 2005, when classified files came to the public domain. And this only came about due to requests under the Freedom of Information Act would force their hand. Flight Lieutenant A.M. Wood would make a report from RAF Bulmer in Northumberland. He could clearly see multiple strange bright objects hanging, in quotes, over the North Sea. Estimations would suggest that the objects would be about 5,000 feet in the air and 3 miles off the coast. The radar system on the base also displayed their presence. Furthermore, 2 servicemen had sat in the picket post of the base, made reports of observing the floating lights, and according to the records, the lights remained visible for at least 90 minutes before simply vanishing. We've talked about the Bermuda Triangle and strange activity down there.
Yes. I always find it fascinating when they mention water and so forth and stuff like that, because, and we've talked about this on the podcast show, underwater, that's like, we have not explored, what is that? There's like 97% of it we've not explored.
I think it's around there, yeah, that they've actually been able to like map.
Yeah, I mean, and it may even be a little bit lower, maybe 95% we've not explored, but that's still a lot of ocean that we've not explored.
And we know more about the moon and several other planets than we do our own ocean.
Yes, and if you go back to some of the early stories, NASA started as exploring the ocean. Mm-hmm. And then they abruptly quit and started exploring other planets. So it makes you wonder what they saw or found under the ocean. Seth, what's your thoughts on like stuff in the ocean, like mysteries or, that we don't know a lot about it, or, reports of ships coming out of the ocean or the Bermuda Triangle, as he said. What's your take on all that, Sim?
Well, I've asked a few people that's supposedly been abducted by aliens and stuff about why UFOs and everything go into the water and stuff, and they said that they do it to recharge their batteries.
No, they did. Does the salt water recharge or refuel their batteries or whatever?
They didn't give any reason. They just said that's why they do. I don't know why. I mean, that would be a good possibility for sure.
Well, I mean, you can definitely get a very alkaline reaction with salt water and lead acid. So, I mean, it does kind of make sense.
Yeah, it definitely does.
But then we have to question, why do they have to recharge batteries if there's other accounts of nuclear power or other sort of outer planetary powers that they drive? Maybe it's the different breeds of aliens.
It could be.
I don't know.
Sim, I'm going to read this next one, and then we're going to take a break, and we'll let you start out segment 2 after the break, if that sounds good to you. And for some reason, this has nothing to do with the story I'm getting ready to read. When I say the name Sim, Simon may be a good name for you, because I see Simon for some reason. Simon. So maybe that would be a good question of the week. What should Seth's nickname for the show be? Should it be Sim? Should it be Simon? Should it be Pyman? Who knows?
Pyman?
Yeah, did you get it? Simple Simon was a Pyman. So it was, never mind. High strangeness encounters reported at Area 2 outside Las Vegas. MysteryWire.com recently reported that a highly secure military compound known as Area 2 is one of the most sensitive sites in the desert Southwest because of its home to multiple nuclear weapons. According to the Air Force security officers, Area 2 is also home to numerous incidents of high strangeness. The infamous Area 51 military base, known as the Cutting Edge Technologies and Secretive Projects, might not be the most sensitive place on the sprawling Nellis Air Force Base Range. This is Area 2. It's located just outside Las Vegas and known for years as a place where nuclear weapons are stored and guarded. As with other nuclear weapons sites around the country, Area 2's nukes have drawn the attention of aerial intruders, unknown craft that have been hovering over the weapons, and bunkers as well. The same security officers who have confirmed that UFOs have been saw over Area 2 say there have also been multiple encounters with something even stranger. An unnamed Air Force security officer said, and quoted, "When I turned around, there was a black mass. It was a form. I don't know what you would call it. It was possibly a shadow person. It looked at me. I don't even know how to describe it other than saying it could have been a shadow person. But it didn't have a definitive shape on its head. It was black. It was a dark blob. The top of it was round, similar to a head, but not quite of a head." Another security officer confirmed to Mystery Wire that stories about intruders on the ground inside the weapons compound described by security as shadow people. Shadow people in Area 2 of a military base. I've not researched shadow people a whole lot. What about you, Sim?
I've heard that shadow people could possibly be demonic and stuff. That's what I've heard from my ghost hunting experience.
What about you, Dirty Dan? What do you think about shadow people?
Well, I know from some of the research I've done and a lot of it that Rebecca's done, like the shadow people Seth's talking about is not related to the extraterrestrial shadow.
Those are two different things, right?
Yeah, two different entities, both very pertinent in both cases, but respectfully completely different.
Now, the one that Sim just mentioned, is that the children with black eyes one? Is that what you're kind of referring to?
No, I think he's more talking about when an entity kind of takes a life shape.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, like a black mist.
Yeah.
Like a black mist thing. Like that one place.
Almost like in Lost.
Yes.
The series Lost.
Okay. Don't man, don't even get me started on the series Lost.
But brother, I'm right there with you. All
You
right,
know.
I refused to watch it, and Rebecca finally made me watch it, and then I got hooked, and then I got pissed.
Oh, I can totally understand you because they were dead all along. None of that stuff happened. Anyway, moving right along, we're going to take a break.
Spoiler alert.
We are going to take a break. We're going to have Mysterious Appalachian Mountains with our very own Simon. And when we come back, Simon is going to start out segment 2. I told you I was going to change his name.
You are going to confuse the ever-living snot out of the listeners.
Hey,
son.
no, I'm not. Simon, do you want to take us out on break?
Yeah, this you're listening here at your Bubblegum with DirtyDan, Goose, and I don't know what my name is, Simon soon. Sam I am. But well, thank you guys for listening. We'll be right back after the Mysterious Appalachian Mountains with Seth and David. Welcome to the Mysterious Appalachian Mountains with Seth and David. How are you doing tonight, David?
I'm doing awesome, Seth. Glad to be back.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be another exciting and fun segment.
Yeah.
And a creepy one. A creepy
yeah,
one.
got a good old story out from Eastern Kentucky, actually.
What town is it from?
Just outside of Manchester, up in Goose Creek is where this was at.
Oh, yeah, man. Definitely want to hear that.
All right. Well, this is actually a story from my dad. When he was a young boy, they lived up in the holler up there, and they lived in an old, little old two-room cabin type deal. But every night they used to have the old flip latch on the door, the wooden flip latch that just, kind of just spin over and it latches the door. Well, every night at 11 o'clock on the money, Dad says you could set your watch by it. Something would knock that latch off and open up the door. And they'd have to go out every night and relock the door and shut it. I thought that was kind of strange, but there's a lot of stories up in that area about ghosts and things.
Yeah, definitely. Here in Eastern Kentucky, there's a lot of history of very scary ghost stories.
For sure. And other strange oddities too, we'll have to talk about sometime.
Absolutely, man. Definitely. To think of one is the Goatman.
Yeah, the Goatman. Yeah, for sure.
One I've heard a lot here lately, especially.
Yeah. I've got a story that we'll talk about sometime if you want, about a possibly shapeshifter. So that's something pretty interesting.
Absolutely, man. And here, one of my ghost stories is out of here in Knott County at my house, actually, at the outside. I wasn't even a ghost hunter at this time. I was just taking random pictures outside in the dark, not knowing that my cousin was actually ghost hunting. She was in her late 20s. I was like 13.
Right.
She and her husband was a ghost hunter at the time. And me, I was just a young 13-year-old boy that didn't know what was going on. I guess they kind of hooked me into ghost hunting. But anyways, they was just taking pictures ghost hunting. And I thought they was just taking pictures. And then just out of nowhere, there was a mist that went through my hand and her hand while she was taking pictures. It went through the camera as well, and actually got it on camera. Was a mist that had like some eyes and a mouth and ears and stuff. Had a face.
See, now, that's really interesting. I've heard and seen that many times. The mist just appear from nowhere and just vanish, go into somebody's body, even like through your hands, like you're saying. Yeah, I've that's something I've definitely seen a couple of times, and I heard of a whole lot.
Yeah, definitely happens a lot. And do you have any Goatman stories, man? We still have some time on here.
Goatman, not a lot far as Goatman goes, unfortunately, Seth. I wish I did. I might have mentioned one time, that out west, a guy supposedly killed one on his ranch, but
Yeah.
I'd have to get more details and revisit that one.
Yeah, I'll tell a story that Greg Yost told me on my podcast a couple months ago. He was out in the woods. I forget. He would think he was Bigfoot hunting maybe. and there
Most
was like
likely.
this yeah, there was this person or whatever it was that came up to him. He said Greg Yost said he felt like something, like when he seen this whatever it was, entity or whatever, that he could just feel like it was angry and stuff.
Hmm.
And he said, "What's up, man?" And then the guy kept getting closer to him. He said, "Don't get close to me, man. You're starting to freak me out a little bit." And all that entity said was Indiana, Indiana.
Huh. That's wild. I'll have to get with Greg and hear that one again.
He just kept saying Indiana. That
Kept saying Indiana.
he thinks it might have been a demon.
Yeah, it sounds very demonic, doesn't it? But I wonder what's the significance of repeating Indiana over and over.
It was
again.
in Indiana is the creepy part.
Right. Yeah. He lives down southern Indiana down here. Yeah, that's really strange.
It disappeared, by the way. At the end, it just disappeared after he left and was getting in his car or whatever.
Yeah, I know he does a lot down in the Clark State Forest down there. I'm wondering if that is where it happened at. I'll have to get with him and talk to him about that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a creepy story.
Yeah. Anytime you got something with, that like that, I mean, that's just, that's getting way out there now for sure.
Definitely don't want to run into that.
No, probably not.
No, he said he didn't want to see Indiana again.
Oh, wow.
The entity Indiana.
Right.
I think he kept asking, Greg asked like once or twice what your name is, and he said Indiana. Indiana.
Just said Indiana, huh?
I don't know. That's weird.
That is weird. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a crazy story, man. I mean, I don't even know what to say after.
Yeah, not sure how you would react to that one. That's you got something that supposedly looks like a goat man. I mean, it kind of goes back to the Bible stuff that, the demonic type stuff. So that's something probably should be really careful with.
Yeah, I'm sure that it is connected to the Goatman, probably.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. I think that might have been his thinking, that he thinks it was connected to the Goatman or something like that. I'm not sure.
Sure.
100%, but I think it's what he's hinting at.
Gotcha.
He actually has a Goatman print, though.
Does he now? I haven't seen that.
From Louisville.
From Louisville? Yeah.
Where that bridge is at, wherever that one bridge is at.
Oh, the big bridge?
Yeah, from that one where there's like people that dies and stuff there.
Oh, I'm not sure if that's the Louisville bridge I'm thinking of or not. There's a few, there's a couple of them down there. One's a real old one. They redid the main one coming 65 going into Louisville from Indiana.
I can't remember. It's I can't remember. I can barely remember yesterday.
Right. Yeah. There's a couple smaller bridges down there. Might be one of those.
Yeah. And I'll tell a Bigfoot story too, and then I'll get your take on it and what you think of it. This was a story that Earl told me. Okay. Here at the I think might have told you before, I don't know. But here at the lake, which is not too far from my house. Where this actually occurred was probably half a mile from my house. There's like a waterfall there. People kayak to and stuff and swim there and stuff. Somebody was kayaking there and they seen this brownish 8-foot looking ape thing walking, and they seen it clear as day and said it was 100% Bigfoot.
Wow. Yeah. On top of a waterfall?
Yeah.
How far away do they think it was, or do you have any of that info?
How far away was it from them?
Yeah.
Well, if they was like really close to the waterfall, I don't really know where they was when they seen it, but they was near the waterfall. If they was near the waterfall, they should have seen it clear as day.
Oh wow! So this is like pretty close then, huh?
Yeah, it definitely had to be. Because I
mean, well, you don't get much other than what we call Bigfoot and Sasquatch running around that's 8 foot tall and hairy, So, and there are a lot of reports down in eastern Kentucky. So, it's very, very possible. I'm not going to discount it. That's for sure.
Yeah. And in this area, the creepy thing, well, not really creepy thing is, but what supports Don Neal's, what he expects, what he says and stuff about Bigfoot always being where deer is at. This is actually a place where people deer hunt and stuff on government land.
Right. An animal that big, you would think it would have to have, I mean, there's no thinking it does have to have a certain amount of protein to survive. So big game, I'd say, is absolutely where their food source is. But I don't think they just stick with meat protein. I think they do forage for berries and nuts and things like that. But as far as their main sources of protein, I'm leaning towards, mostly fish, deer, pig, elk. They're a big animal. They can take any of those animals down pretty easily.
There's big fish in this area too. Big carp, big catfish, small bluegill, big bass.
That'd be a meal in the evening.
Yeah, definitely squatch land for sure. As they say,
I can't wait to get down there.
As they say on Hunting Bigfoot, squatch land.
Yeah, we need to pretty soon. We'll talk about coming down and getting together soon.
Yeah, definitely. If I was you, I'd come down during the summertime because that's when people ain't hunting and stuff around there.
Right. Yeah, that's a valid point.
Yeah, for sure. And that would be very good squatch land for sure. Definitely appreciate you doing this, man. And people can find you on Facebook and everywhere. Shout out your Facebook and all that.
Yeah, Facebook at We Are Legend Hunters. And then we have a email too if you want to share anything with us, anything at all weird. It's wearelegendhunters@gmail.com.
Absolutely, man. And if you want to send me something, my email is seth.ambergy14@gmail.com. Definitely appreciate David doing this, and I appreciate everybody listening. Y'all have a good night. And this has been the Mysterious Appalachian Mountains with Seth and David. Y'all have a good night, and God bless.
Hey everybody, it's John the Bod, aka the Bod Father. I have a new podcast entitled Beyond the Paranormal, which is on every Tuesday night on Beyond the Paranormal YouTube page, and we'll be streaming shortly on our Facebook page as well. If you want some information on the paranormal and cryptids such as UFOs, Bigfoot, Dogman, come and check out Beyond the Paranormal every Tuesday on Beyond the Paranormal podcast YouTube site, and also soon on our Facebook page. Keep checking back, folks. We're going to have a lot of great guests, a lot of great information. Have a good one.
Goose and Dirty Dan. Give the guys a break. They're not that bright.
And you're back with your favorite all-time radio hosts of Here to Chew Bubblegum, Goose, Dirty Dan, and the official Sam, whatever.
I sell propane and propane accessories. How'd you like to
say propane
and propane accessories? Bob,
I love me some King of the Hill.
King of the Hill's good. King of the Hill's good.
It's a very underrated show.
Yes, it is. Simon, what are you going to start out segment 2 with?
This is a story from MUFON out of Columbus, North Carolina. This is from June the 20th of 2021. And it was in Columbus, North Carolina. It was rocket-like shaped and had 2 cylinders, one on either side, unattached. It was standing there and did not move at first. I thought it was a cloud, but as I observed it and realized it was something else, it was a dark brown in color and did not change color. I looked away for a second And then I looked back and it was gone. There was no evidence of anything ever being there. No one saw it but myself. I did not drink alcohol, did not smoke, and did not take any kinds of drugs.
See, now, those are important things, because if you do say, yeah, I was drunk and I saw this, nobody's going to believe you. Nobody. You know, North Carolina is one of those states, too, where, especially on the coast, there's been a lot more activity the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, and now that, I wonder if this has been the closest kind of sighting, with the exception of the fighter pilots off the California coast, of the Tic Tac shape. And they just haven't seen the bottom side of it before to see those 2 other cylinders next to it.
That's a very good possibility. You know, we're going to have to, and maybe on next week's show, definitely the next couple of weeks' show, we will pull up some recent sightings and see, because we normally do that every 3 months on the podcast show. We'll pull up and read off some of the sightings and so forth, and go over some stuff like that. I
guess I'll have to throw mine in there then.
Yeah, definitely. You have to throw yours in there. Tell us a little bit about that before we move on, because, you know, you did talk about this on the podcast. But tell us just a little bit about that, because I'm still, that video is still amazing, man, that you sent me.
So for all the listeners out there, while we were fighting salamanders and teaming up with ladybugs, we were acquiring a very nice large chunk of land in a different city, and I was out burning trash one night. Not night, but it was evening time. It was dusk, and I just happened to look up over my barn, and there are these lights just sitting there staring at me, just not moving. And like I was telling Seth earlier, like, I know some dang good helicopter pilots and some hotshot boys. I've never seen anyone in a helicopter be able to sustain the perfect stillness that this was. And it was a pretty clear night. And for the next minute or so, it would move towards me a little bit, and then it shoot up, and then it moved towards me a little bit, and it shoot up, and then it did a little crazy thing, and I started recording again, and it came right over me, and it was a very dark shape. It wasn't a square, it wasn't a triangle. It was almost like a spade, but take the tail off, and no sound whatsoever. Was very low to me. No sound whatsoever. Had some weird lights on it that, being an aviation guy, never saw that color or pattern before. And then as soon as it got over me, it just out of sight.
Let's see. Have you guys heard about a woman believed to be the oldest person in the world dies at age 124? A Filipino woman believed to be the oldest person in the world has died. Sadly, she was 124 years old. Lola Francina Susano of the Philippines recently passed away. The village that she lived in posted on their Facebook page, "It is with sadness in our heart when we received the news that our beloved Lola Francisca Suno passed away." She was officially declared the oldest person at 124 years old, and that was validated by the Guinness World Records. She was born September 11th, 1897, before the Philippines gained its independence from Spanish rule.
Wow.
So 100, can you imagine, born in 1897 and passed away at 124 years old. And this story showed pictures of her as well. I didn't print those off. She looked really good to be 120. She didn't look like 124. She looked like she was like in her 80s. I mean, she looked really good to be 124 years old.
A buddy at work that his grandpa's just turned 107.
Wow.
And it's like, they thought they were going to lose him back when he was late 80s, early 90s. And then he hit like 95 and like new life sprung into him. And that seems to be the trend.
It is amazing. I mean, like people that they have a rich, full life like that. And they're blessed with that. I mean, it would be cool to know, if there is a secret, what that is. I mean, you have one lady from Russia, I think a few years ago, that was like 112, and she passed away, and she said she drank one beer every single day. And,
this guy's secret is blackberry brandy every morning.
Well, and there's a lot of people that drink like 3 ounces of wine every morning, that it's good for your heart, and that's medically proven. I'm not a doctor. Yep. That's not medical advice. Nobody take that, but I do know people that do that. And, I've actually done
3 ounces, not bottles.
Yes, 3 ounces. That's, not even a glass of wine. Very, very, very small amount. Seth, what's your take on living to be 124 years old? If you could live to be 124, would you do it?
Oh, absolutely, man. I believe every day is a blessing.
Me too. Thank you very much, Simon. Dirty Dan, if you could live to be 124, would you do it?
Oh, 110% or 124%. Yeah.
I mean, because think about that just a minute. She saw the automobile,
not just that, she saw every major
event,
global war.
Yeah. And she was alive when the Titanic sank. I mean, she would have been, like 15 when the Titanic sank. So
yeah, around there. Yeah, she'd been a teenager.
So, I mean, wow. That's just, that honestly sends chills up my spine, and I just wanted to give a shout out and mention that, and send our condolences for that family and village. Moving on, space tourism took a giant leap in 2021. Here's some milestones from the year, just a few milestones, from suborbital space to high flight orbit. Space tourism is just getting started and has big plans ahead. This year saw more space tourists fly into space on a bunch of different systems, and the story has only just begun. Virgin Galactica, Blue Origin, and SpaceX each flew their first tourist-focused missions, sending aloft several people with minimal training in professional spaceflight. Meanwhile, Roscosmos, the Russian Federal Space Agency, brought 2 sets of space tourists into space, including a mission with Space Adventures. With 2022 also set to be busy between more tourist flights and the expected addition of a new company called Axum Space, which will be using a SpaceX Crew Dragon. There is more milestones ahead for 2022 in space tourism. Seth, and I know I've called you Seth, Simon, all that good stuff. Space, if you could travel into space right now, like Jeff Bezos does, just up to the higher orbit, would you do it? Why or why not?
Statement.
Huh?
Fix that statement.
What?
Does not travel into space.
I said in the higher orbit.
Does not travel into space.
My statement's fine, sir. I will get to you in just a minute. Simon.
I hope you do.
Simon, would you travel?
Man, to be honest with you, probably not, man. Because if I go even on like the second story of a building and stuff, I get very scared of heights, so probably not.
Really? Now, see, I didn't used to be scared of heights. Over the last probably 4 years, I do have a phobia of heights. I am kind of a little bit scared of them now. As far as right now, I don't think I would space travel because it's still in the early stages. And I don't think I would do it. Dirty Dan, my friend, would you space travel? I know you're going to say, no, not with Jeff Bezos, but I would with Elon Musk, right?
110%.
Now,
110%.
Why would you not travel right now with Jeff Bezos?
First off, if his drivers can't even get up my driveway, definitely not going to trust anything that he is a part of to strap in and get up anywhere because no. Blue Origin can have fun with Amazon. And as for Richard, too cocky for his own good, Branson, I don't know what's a bigger joke, him or his space flight. So
You just don't like Jeff Bezos, is what it is.
I'd rather have Jeff Bezos than Richard Branson.
But your main go-to guy that you have a man crush on is Elon Musk.
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay. So,
you know what? You know what really solidified that for me?
what's that?
Now the Tesla cars are one thing,
Uh-huh.
but everybody has known about and is waiting for the Tesla truck to come out.
I'm waiting on the Tesla phone to come out.
Me too, and Starlink to come in this area, but that's a whole other thing. Elon Musk said that though his truck is much more technologically advanced than any other one will ever be able to make or copy, it's still made with industry standard parts because he feels that technicians are important. That's me.
No, that's a very noble statement to make and to actually follow up and actually do it. I can get behind that. I can support that.
So that right there is he's wanting to advance the industry, in this case, commercial trucking, but not wanting to take away all of the heartbeat that keeps it going because he's using industry standard equipment along with his technology. So obviously there will be certain things that we can't do. It must go to a Tesla factory or dealer. But, whereas all these people are trying to make EVs like the Tesla and not doing so hot, and the governments are trying to mandate it and force it down our throat, it's turning one-sided. And he recognized that, and he's trying to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And that is just outstanding.
Lost, Walt Disney UFO documentary. We all know Walt Disney as the guy responsible for making the best cartoons and animated movies. He started in the revolution when he first released the first Mickey Mouse cartoon. Many years have passed since then, but what few people remember is that Disney once had a special edition UFO documentary. Could it be possible the man making cartoons is now making a science documentary and on UFOs nevertheless? It's unclear if the real source behind the documentary is one thing certain, and was Disney. Disney probably had hands with helping make the documentary, featuring prominent scientists in the field. The documentary tries to clarify some aspects of the UFO controversy. Are there aliens in the world, or are we alone? Given the fact that Disney thrives on fiction, you never know. And this documentary supposedly was made in the 60s, and it's just now came to light because people have started talking about it and watching it. And it's truly unknown if Disney did partake in making it, but some of the things that's been uncovered, they think that he did.
Well, I mean, in a couple of weeks, we'll be able to have a guest on our show that can probably give us about the most solid answer to that.
Yes, we can. And we will have to hold on to this story and or write a question down and ask Mr. DJ Nicky that.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a question. What was it, Dirty Dan?
So being that this is the first episode of a new year and hopefully not a part 2.
Yes.
Because as we know, the universe always says yes.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know, what is one thing that you, Goose, and one thing that you, Sam, Simon, Sim, guess who? That's what I'm going to call you, is guess who.
Guess
like
who.
the old game.
GW.
Yeah, guess who.
I like that. GW.
What is one thing, goal, ambition, want, need, whatever, that you want to accomplish with Here to Chew Bubblegum?
That's a very good question. Very good question. Simon, take it away.
Definitely, like my buddy Earl said, be a truth seeker and tell everybody the truth about UFOs, Bigfoot, Mothman, everything cryptid, and help get the word out. And definitely appreciate you guys letting me co-host with you. And this has been a lot of fun, and it's going to be a lot of fun every week, man. I look forward to every episode and to grow an audience with you two, man, and help grow the podcast for sure. And we're going to be the best podcast out there.
Brother,
That's ambitious.
Yes.
That is ambitious.
Yes, it is.
What about you, Goose?
Man, for me, I want to make more people aware and give them they already have the ability, but remind them that they have the ability to think for themselves. They don't have to take what somebody says at face value without doing their own research. I also want to, and I've said this before, every single day I wake up, I want to be the best person that I can totally be. And I want to be a blessing and make people happy, with my family, friends, coworkers. I want to be a blessing to them, and I don't want to bring anybody down. And I want to build people up. That's what I want to do in life and on the radio show and the podcast. Dirty Dan, what about you?
I want to bring Here to Chew Bubblegum, the radio show, the podcast, everything, all of our social media platforms. I want to bring them to the next level, and I want to do that with you guys, and I want to do that with the listeners. As you guys are aware, with the flock, we have many people that are, nearby, spread all across in many countries across the world.
Yes.
And we've talked about going mobile sometimes or for some things and doing other things like that. And I want to make that happen if it kills me. I want to go out and, obviously start small first, because you got to know your boundaries.
Yeah.
But yeah. I want to go out there and I want to meet some of y'all. I want to be able to record with some of y'all. I want you to have the real Here to Chew Bubblegum experience. And just, even if we make one person's day brighter by doing that, that's still one more person that's on a better path then. And that is rewarding and fulfilling and exciting for me, as I think it is for you guys too. So with that being said, listeners, let us know what you guys want from us, what you guys want to do with us this year. Give us some ideas, give us some feedback, set up an event. Just reach out to us and let us know.
Oh, definitely. That's beautiful, man. It really is. Why don't you start to close out for us there this week, Dirty Dan?
Oh, I can do that. I am totally unprepared for that.
Well, do you want me to go ahead and just close it out and then you say your line? I want to remind everyone and be sure to check out Carbon Capture Shield, adventureswithpurpose.com, and help me pronounce this correctly. Till Valhalla. And it's
Valhalla.
Yes, project.
Till Valhalla project.
And it's weird. There's some people can't say spaghetti. I have a hard time saying Valhalla, ever how you say it.
Valhalla.
Yes, that's it. That's what I said. I want to say special thanks to Carlin for all the voiceover work and remind everyone to be sure to check out and support our friends that have their own shows. I'm talking about CK and Uncle Bill over at deadpit.com, Talk Junkie with Justin Perkins, Jordan and Brad of Down on the Holler, Seth Ambergy with Seth's Daily Podcast. I've never met him, but I heard he's a great guy. Elliot, Gertie, and Beagle of SpookyFamilyPodcast.com. And don't forget about the Mountain Mysteries Podcast with Chris Sloan. As Dirty Dan said earlier, if you do miss and want to hear Cronkite, he's now known as the Paranormal Trucker. Be sure to check him, Snowman, and Large Marge out over at Paranormal Trucker on YouTube. And don't forget about the brand new show, Beyond the Paranormal Podcast, with my friend John Marshall. You can watch it on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And if you want to awaken more, be sure to check out Rebecca Short on TikTok. Just search Rebecca Short. Check our website out, our Facebook. You can find her. She has several different usernames and so forth. And that's it. That'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week. And until then, so long for now.
Maybe I'm not leaving. Maybe I'm just going home.
Simon says bye. We'll see you next week.
Simon says go.
Thanks for listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. Tune in next time as we dive deeper into things the government doesn't want us to know.